I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started on the no half-step in hockey coverage, let me direct you to our whole website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you're going to learn everything you need to know about the show. And once you're getting educated about the show, click on that merchandise tab. That's going to take you to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, including our brand new line of Home Base Freakout 2 merchandise, which I am wearing the t-shirt under the jersey. As a matter of fact, I've been wearing the t-shirt ever since it arrived, and I'll continue wearing it on through the event, and probably beyond that. I'm going to stress test this shirt. Besides the t-shirts, you can also find all of the classic gimmicks from the Renegades Puck you've come to know and love. Socks, wall art, throw, pillow, bed sets, and so much more. Something like 55 gimmicks in the online store now with our logo on it. We've sold out so that you can buy in. Stick taps, love, and respect to everybody who's picked up some merchandise as of late. Thank you. Thank you. It means so much to us. Social media is of critical importance to this independent hockey operation. It's exactly how you can help us out. Please give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscription on any of the following or all of the following platforms. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as far as social media goes. You can also find our behind-the-scenes live streaming channel on Twitch. You can find us on YouTube for Renegades of Puck TV, and of course, a myriad of different audio platforms for the podcast, Stitcher, Google, Spotify, just a couple of examples, but just search Renegades of Puck in your preferred platform and you will find the show. Listen, it's the last pitch for Home Base Freakout. We are hours away. It is game day for the Renegades of Puck. Now listen, Renegades, I am aware of some significant guests that are coming to the event. I cannot promote them. It's a guest that is going to be a big surprise. I would love it if each and every one of you would come out. Please, Tailgate Brewery, 1538 to Munbury Street. You know by now. Home Base Freakout 1 last year was an incredible success. It is going to be incredibly hard for us to compete with what we did in Dallas for Behind Enemy Lines, which you see the poster for sitting right there. And, of course, what we did at Home Base Freakout 1. Home Base Freakout 2 is going to bring the entire hockey community together. I was out all over the Middle Tennessee area, stopping by rinks, handing out flyers, and personally inviting hockey players of every level out to the event. I'm bringing us all together, and I'm going to make it happen. So please come on out and join us. We're only a couple hours away. We're starting the event at 7. I'll be on site before that. You could probably even find me downtown passing out one more round of flyers in the afternoon time. So please come and check it out. All ages, no cover. Please bring an ID and present that at the door and come in and find us. We'll set up upstairs. That's where the main stage is going to be. The Renegades of Puck will be on stage at 8 o'clock. We'll do drawings and giveaways throughout the entirety of the evening. So please, again, Home Base Freakout 2, Tailgate Brewery, Music Row. It starts Friday night, 7 o'clock. We will see you out there. Can't wait to see each and every one of you for Home Base Freakout 2. Now, wow. It's been an intense couple of days, but that means we still have time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage. It's time for me to deliver the goods. So let's get to it. It's time for operation number 734. That's right. Show number 734 for the Renegades Puck. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division. They have skated in 70 games already this season. They have a record of 36, 26, and 8. 80 points on the regular season. On home ice, they have a record of 18, 12, and 4. That's where their next game, matter of fact, their next 2 games will take place. The last goal the Preds scored in regulation was their 200th goal of the season. They've given up 206 against on the season. They have a goal differential of -6. Now, of course, I'm going to update you on the Central Division standings, but where the Nashville Predators' most important race right now lies within the Western Conference wild card race. So let's start with the Central Division, then we'll talk about the wild card after that. After tonight's action, the Dallas Stars continue to be in first place with 92 points. The Minnesota Wild are at 91. They've skated in the same number of games. Colorado Avalanche have skated in 70 games. They're in third place, 3 points back of second place Minnesota, 4 points back of Dallas. These 3 teams have been working a very, very close battle for the top of the Central Division for quite some time now. The Winnipeg Jets sit in 4th place at 85 points. The Nashville Predators then at 80 points in 5th place. St. Louis at 70, Arizona at 66, and Chicago is at little E. For the Winnipeg Jets, they've played 3 more games than the Nashville Predators. Of course, that is of critical importance since the Nashville Predators are 5 points behind Winnipeg in the standings, but have 3 games at hand. So 6 points at hand obviously could overtake 5 points. When it comes to wild card, Seattle still holds the number 1 spot in the wild card, 86 points. The Winnipeg Jets hold the number 2 wild card spot at 85. The Nashville Predators are the first team on the outside looking in, surpassing the Calgary Flames with their most recent victory. So the Preds are at 80 points, again 5 points behind the Winnipeg Jets, with the Nashville Predators having one more head-to-head matchup against the Seattle Kraken coming up that we're going to preview here in the next couple of minutes. The Nashville Predators could cut the lead by Seattle to just 4 points by the end of this weekend. Now, for the Nashville Predators, I mentioned they're going to be playing the Seattle Kraken in their next game. A very rare 2-game set, but Seattle Kraken finished up the game Thursday night, and now will be the next game on Saturday afternoon after the Pekka Rinne statue unveiling out there on the plaza. So for the Nashville Predators, once they wrap up this 2-game set with the Seattle Kraken, Sunday they will face off against Toronto Maple Leafs. Then Tuesday, back on the road, a quick 2-game road trip, Boston and then Toronto and Pittsburgh on Thursday. And then on 4-1, they'll be facing off against the St. Louis Blues at home on the 3rd of April. The Preds will be in Dallas. Now, for the Nashville Predators Seattle Kraken, is the final regular season meeting between these two teams. We go all the way back to November the 8th when the Preds fell in Seattle 5-1 to the Kraken. It was Eberle with 2 goals. Borgen, Tanev, and Burakovsky also with a goal. Forsberg scored the only goal for the Preds, and UC Saros was pulled early in that one, only stopping 2 out of 6 shots, 4 goals against in the first period of that game before getting pulled. And, of course, most recently was, just a couple hours ago, on the 23rd of March, the Nashville Predators scored a 2-1 victory in the shootout. UC Saros picks up the victory, redemption from the first game of the season. He was 27 out of 28 in this game. Sherwood scored the only goal in regulation. Tomasino picked up the shootout game-winning goal for the Nashville Predators. Of course, injuries continue to be a massive problem for this Nashville Predators team. First half of the season, injuries were barely even a mention. As of late, though, it has been one of the only things that we get to talk about. The captain, Roman Josi, still listed as day-to-day. Philip Forsberg, we're starting to understand, is not listed as day-to-day anymore. Carrier is day-to-day. Parsonen also day-to-day. Johansson out for the remainder of the season. Now, the Seattle Kraken, let's get you updated on everything about the Kraken. 39-24-8 is their regular season overall record, 86 points. That is 4th overall in the Pacific Division. When it comes to their road record, they are 23-9-4. That is a very impressive road record. They have a goal differential of plus 17. Now, let's take a look at their most recent stretch of action. Let's go back and talk about their most recent 5 games. On March the 13th, a 5-2 loss versus the Dallas Stars. On the 16th of March, a 2-1 overtime win at the San Jose Sharks. Followed it up on the 18th of March with a 6-4 loss versus Edmonton. Then on the 21st, a 5-4 overtime win at Dallas. On the 23rd of March, most recently a 2-1 shootout loss at the Nashville Predators. Taking a look inside the rankings and the numbers between these two clubs. For the Nashville Predators, 2.79 goals is 26th overall in the league, and the Seattle Kraken are 3.46 per game. That is 5th best in the NHL. So the Nashville Predators, a highly impressive effort in their most recent game to keep Seattle to only 1 goal when they're averaging 3.46 per game. In the goals against category, 2.91 is 12th overall for the Nashville Predators, and 3.17 is 16th overall in the league for the Seattle Kraken. In the shots for category, shots on net, the Preds 30.1 per game is 23rd, while Seattle 30.2 on net per game is 21st. In the shots against category, now this is highly impressive, and you can tell from the Seattle Kraken, they just simply do not allow a tremendous amount of shots on goal. 27.7 is their overall number for the season. That's 3rd best in the NHL, while the Preds are quite the opposite, giving up 33.2 shots per game, and that is 27th overall in the NHL. So a difference of 5.5 shots per game given up between these two teams. When it comes to the special teams and the power play, neither of these power plays are particularly impressive. The Nashville Predators have the 26th rated power play in the NHL, converting at 17.9%, while Seattle's converting at 19.1%. They are 24th, 39 out of 204 opportunities. Now, the Nashville Predators penalty kill is quite impressive and has certainly been that as late. 10th overall in the league for the season, 81.9% is their kill rate. They've given up 42 power play goals against on the year, while the Seattle Kraken are 74.6% on their kill rate, 26th overall in the league. They've given up 52 power play goals on the season. Now, when it comes to the individual statistics, we always talk about the top 5 individual scorers for each team and the potential starting goaltender matchup. Let's start on the home team for the the Nashville Predators, the captain Roman Josi still out of the lineup, still listed as day-to-day. 18 goals, 41 assists, 59 points, still leads the team in scoring. Matt Duchene leads the team in goals with 21, had 33 assists, that for 54 points. Philip Forsberg has 19 goals and 23 assists for 42 points. Tommy Novak, 14 and 19 for 33. Sissons, 11 and 16 for 27. UC Saros in net, 28, 19 and 7. A 9.17 save percentage, 2.72 goals against average. Highly impressive numbers for UC Saros on the season. When it comes to the Seattle Kraken, leading scorer on the team is Dunn, 13 goals, 45 assists for 58 points. McCann, 34 goals and 22 assists for 56 points. Eberle, 16 and 38 for 54. And then Yanni Gourde, 11 and 32 for 43. DeCourt in net got the most recent start against the Nashville Predators. The only goaltender on the Seattle Kraken with a save percentage over 90. His save percentage is 903. His goals against is 2.89. The problem is it's an incredibly small sample size, a record of only 2, 0, and 1, but still seems to give them the best option in net and played quite admirably against the Nashville Predators at Bridgestone Arena. We'll recap his performance and the rest of the Seattle Kraken versus the Nashville Predators coming up in the Rebirth Sports full game recap. That's coming up right after this.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to March the 23rd of the year 2023 when the Nashville Predators were facing off against the Seattle Kraken for the second of 3 meetings on the season and the first of 2 back-to-back at Bridgestone Arena. John Hines deploys his lines. Something about this seems familiar. Tomasino, Glass, and Duchene, Sherwood, Novak, and Evangelista, Trennan, Sissons, and Smith. After the save, Jankowski and Asplund. Oh, yes, it wasn't dramatically changed and switched between the last game and this game. The defensive pairings, McDonough and Favreau, Barry and Gross, Luzon and Foote. UC Saros gets the start in net. 28 seconds into the first period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Gourde. It's the first shot on goal of the game at 2:28 of the first period. Sprung comes up with his 18th goal this season, giving Seattle a 1-0 lead. He fakes going behind the net with the puck. He catches Saros leaving the post, and tucks it off of the pad. Bank shot and into the net. Seattle holds a 1-0 lead in the first period at Bridgestone Arena. At 6:01, Sprong back for more, but this time Saros comes up with the stop. Nashville cannot hit the net with any of their opportunities. It is a ton of skating out there, and to be honest with you, our good friend Renegade 55 Chris Martell identified this first period as quite an incredible basketball game to watch. That's just how it looked out there for long stretches of the first period. Then Seattle started blocking everything, and the Nashville Predators went from missing the net to having their shots blocked. So we go all the way to the 9:43 mark of the first period. Saros comes up with a save on Eberle, and then we go all the way to 19:32 when Saros comes up with a save on Gourde's backhand. We went almost 10 minutes without a shot on goal. The Preds missed 9 shots. Seattle blocked 7 shots, all right there in the first period. Seattle outshoots the Preds 7-3 in the first period, and I've got to tell you, everybody noticed it. The lack of whistles, the low event nature of this first period, no penalties, only the 1 goal. In real time, this entire period, 20 minutes of regulation hockey, was played in about 29 minutes of real time on the clock. One of the fastest periods I have ever witnessed in my entire life. We go to 1:14 in the second period. Saros comes to save on Eberle's backhand at close range. 2:09. Saros to save on Schwartz. 2:59. Saros another save. It's time on Morgan. 4:51. McCord now. Time to go to work. Comes with a save on Smith. His tip near the crease was dangerous. 5:17. McCord comes up with another save on Novak. And the Nashville Predators now equaled their first period shots on goal in 5:17 of just the second period with 3. Now doubling their total for the game of now 6. 8:03 of the second period. Saros comes with a save on Fraden. Low snap shot with the glove. 9:36. Luzon's off the box. 2 minutes for holding. And at this point, it was more like a collision. And I got to tell you, I don't label it this way very often, but for the officials to call this kind of a dick call right there. Saros has to come up with a save on Tolvanen. just had to get through that. 14-1 in the second period. Sherwood's fourth goal of the season ties the game at 1 apiece between the Nashville Predators and the Seattle Kraken. It was a rebound put back from the faceoff dot off of Barry's long shot, kicked out off the pad all the way to the faceoff circle. Sherwood does not miss on the conversion. We've got a 1-1 hockey game, 14-1, and in the second period, 14-31 into the second. Larson's off the box, 2 minutes for tripping. The Nashville Predators not able to generate a single shot on goal. Luke Evangelista, though, did just miss a deflection there near the top of the crease area that would have gone for a really sweet scoring chance. 1942, Saros comes up with a save on Wenberg off the rush. We hit the intermission. Better job by the Nashville Predators in the second period, obviously tying the game up, but also generating 10 total shots on net. Now at the end of the second period, Seattle has 16 shots. The Nashville Predators have 13 shots. We go into the third period, tied at 1 apiece, and at 1:27 of the third, Saros comes up with a save on Borgen. 2:13 of the third, Saros comes up with a save on Schwartz. Rebound put back off of the post. The full stretch by UC Saros. 2:57. McCord back on the clock. He comes with a save on Asplin. 5:21. Saros comes up with a save on Schultz's deflection. The degree of difficulty for UC Saros in this third period has gone from routine to extreme, and there is no doubt he is having to utilize every tool he has in the box here in this third period. 7:44 of the third, Saros a save on Alexiak. 9:37, Saros another save on Dunn. 9:47, Foot is off the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking. It was an outstanding PK by the Nashville Predators, and mainly because of the really solid D support, blocking shots, clearing loose pucks, and not allowing anything to get really close to UC Saros. At 14:25, McCord comes up with a save on Barry's long shot. It was a tricky low shot with a little spin move coming off the half wall. 15:43, McCord comes up with a save on Sherwood. 18:29 of the third, Tanev's off the box. 2 minutes for boarding. He was hot about that call, but it was a boarding call. The difference between a good, clean, hard hit and boarding is about 2 feet of separation from the wall, and in this particular situation, Sherwood was 2 feet away from the wall. This was clear boarding, no matter how much Tanev wanted to complain about. Nashville Predators, great opportunity for a power play, but unable to generate any shots on goal before the end of regulation. 28 for Seattle at the end of regulation, 18 shots on goal for the Nashville Predators. We have a carryover 29 seconds of the power play into the overtime, so it's a 4-on-3 power play. Nothing doing for the Nashville Predators, so we return to 4-on-4 hockey, which is where we're going to stay for a while. 1:17 of the overtime with 4-on-4 now. McCord comes up with a save on Fabro. 2:42. McCord comes up with a save on Evangelista. 4:41. McCord, another save on Evangelista, holds the puck. That's the first whistle of the overtime session. So we return to a 3-on-3 format for just the final 19 seconds of the overtime session. Of course, we head to the shootout, tied at 1 apiece, and the shots on goal at the end of regulation, end of shootout, at the end of regulation and overtime. 28 for Seattle, 24 for Nashville. We go to the shootout, and it's Matt Duchesne going 5-hole with perfection to start the shoot off, and then Tomasino ends the shootout with the 5-hole slider, and the Nashville Predators come away with the 2-1 victory. Outshot 28-24 on home ice, but they are still very much alive in the wild card playoff race. Seattle picking up a point doesn't help the Nashville Predators, but the Preds picking up 2 points certainly keeps them up to pace with Winnipeg, and they did gain 1 point on Seattle by way of gaining 2 points, with Seattle only gaining 1. So a 3-point game split between the Nashville Predators and the Seattle Kraken in favor of the Preds. The Preds get a little redemption for that road trip out to Seattle, and they'll have one more opportunity to win the regular season series against the Seattle Kraken coming up on Saturday afternoon, right after the Pecorine statue unveiling. For the Nashville Predators, a victory would go a long way to helping them, but it's going to be a big weekend. 4 points on the line, 2 against Seattle on Saturday, 2 against Toronto on Sunday. We got the Renegades of Puck. They need to get in the trenches. They need to give you some analysis, some intel, and tell you everything that's going on. We had multiple Renegades of Puck at the game tonight, and they are in the trenches. Sean C. Smith coming up, Brian Basson coming up, the box score, stats, analysis, opinions, and so much more right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
UC Saros was 27 out of 28 in this game, and he stopped both opportunities in the shootout against. One was off the post, but still, he was there. He got the job done, and in regulation and overtime, UC Saros was incredible. The degree of difficulty went up as this game went along, and in the first several minutes of the third period, he had to utilize some incredible flexibility, some great tracking, and perhaps maybe even a little bit of luck at times. You don't see UC Saros usually employing that, but without a doubt, UC Saros had an incredible game against a team that is in the playoffs at this moment. So UC Saros versus a playoff caliber Seattle Kraken team, UC Saros comes away with the victory, and that's good redemption for UC Saros. We've talked about it already a couple of times when UC Saros got pulled in that game in Seattle back in November, only stopping 2 out of 6. Much different in this particular scenario, 27 out of 28. Perfect in the shootout, and again, making some otherworldly saves using all of the skills in the toolbox. Talk about using all of the skills in the toolbox. Listen, I've made the comment a couple of times about Sherwood since he's come back from Milwaukee. The physical play, the attention to detail, the impact with which he is playing out there, it's as if somebody turned his dial from high to kill to terminate. He is just simply everywhere in this game. He scores a goal, which ends up being the game-tying goal for the Nashville Predators, so he earns his team a point with that goal. But catch this. Also, 5 shots on goal. That led the Nashville Predators in shots on goal. Also, 5 hits. He led the team in hits. He did all of this in only 16:01 total time on ice, and all around, you can only describe it as a great game. This was a great, no matter young player, veteran player, whatever level you're playing, when you end the night with 1 goal, you lead your team in shots on goal, you lead your team in hits, and you've done all you can do out there to be the best player you can be. Well, that's one hell of a hockey game. You can't really ask for much more out of Sherwood than what we saw tonight. If he can bottle that up and put up that performance consistently, well, I mean, not only will he have a lengthy career in the NHL, but he will have a very successful career as well. Let's talk about Tomasino, game-winning goal in the shootout. And you know what? I made the note. He did it. He converted on a breakaway. He actually finished one. It didn't hit the post. It didn't go just wide or up high over the top. He put the puck in, and he secures the victory. That has got to go a long way to helping Philip Tomasino's confidence on these breakouts and these odd man rushes that he's had so much trouble with since last season when he first arrived here with the Nashville Predators. But he finishes this one, and he secures the secondary point for the Nashville Predators, which, of course, could come down to being the most critical point of the season. We'll find out when everything weighs out here in 12 more games. Let's talk about the cult of Luke. Luke Evangelista, 20-28 total time on ice, led all forwards. What confidence the coaching staff has in Luke Evangelista already at this young point in his career to have him leading the team in time on ice with 20 minutes and 28 seconds. He didn't register any points in this game because there was only 1 goal scored in regulation for the Preds, but he was another great performance, another great night for Luke Evangelista. He's out there making things happen. He did have 3 shots on goal. He did have 1 hit in this game, and he played .251 in total power play time. So Luke Evangelista, another very big game, an early point in his career. Let's talk about somebody who's been in the league just a little bit longer than Luke Evangelista, Ryan McDonagh. 6 blocked shots in this game. You would think after Ryan McDonagh has been hit up high 3 times by pucks this year, blocking shots, that he would be a little bit gun shy from throwing his body into harm's way, but that's not the player Ryan McDonagh is. 6 blocked shots in this game, 25:09 total time on ice. That led the Preds in total time on ice. He also delivered 2 hits in this game. Ryan McDonagh is just a professional defenseman out there. He is as smooth as can be and leading the team in block shots and time on ice. You can see he's willing to give up and sacrifice for this Nashville Predators team. Ryan McDonagh is a treat to watch here in Nashville. Let's talk to Sean C. Smith from A to Z Sports. You can find him on Twitter at SCSNSH. He was at Bridgestone Arena tonight, and he's filed this report for the Renegades of Puck.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, it's Sean Smith, and we're going to talk about the Preds win over the Seattle Kraken and what it means. Now, the first thing you got to know is that the Predators, as it stands, are chasing the Winnipeg Jets for the final wild card spot. Right now, and when I say right now, I mean as I'm recording this, the Predators have won their game against the Kraken, earning 2 points. Kraken, of course, earning the loser's point, giving them 1 point. But the Winnipeg Jets are playing the mighty, mighty, mighty Ducks of Anaheim. And right now, again, as I speak, and I'm gonna look down at my screen here, so if you pardon me, the Anaheim Ducks have just scored on the power play. It is a tied game, 2-2 between Winnipeg and Anaheim, with 14 and a half minutes left in the third period. Now, what that means is, and I want you to think about this, if the Ducks are able to pull off the improbable, that means that the Predators go into the rest of the evening and into tomorrow 3 points, just 3 points, out of the final wild card spot. If Winnipeg ties and loses, they'll have a loser point, meaning the Preds will be 4 spots out, which is the first time they've gained ground in a while. But here's the other key thing that's really important. I want you to think about this. The Predators just played the Seattle Kraken. The Seattle Kraken have the first wild card spot. They've got 86 points. The Preds have 80. Now, they did give them the loser point tonight because they did go all the way to the shootout to decide who was going to come out the winner. But here's the thing. The Predators play the Kraken again. If the Predators can win and earn 2 points and keep the Kraken from earning any points, they're within 4 points now of the Seattle Kraken. And then, of course, Winnipeg would have the opportunity to hurtle them, which would then make the team that the Preds are chasing for the final wild card spot the Seattle Kraken. So this game has had a lot of implications playoffs-wise, and the game on Saturday, the Pekka Rinne statue unveiling game, has a lot of implications playoff-wise as well. So that's something to keep an eye on, that there could be a shift, a very quick and a very dynamic shift in who the Predators are trailing and who they're chasing and who they're in competition with for that final spot in the wild card. Now, our final spot in the playoffs. Here's the thing. Predators played not what I'm going to say an inspired game tonight. There were players that seemed like they were giving their all. But by and large, it looks like they kind of got outplayed several times, maybe in the first period, maybe even in the third period, maybe, according to Matt Duchene, about 50-50 in the second. But they're going to have to come out and be a lot better against the Kraken on Saturday if they want to hold them to a regulation loss. And I think that's what the goal needs to be here because, again, as I speak, I'm just sitting here looking at the score. It's tied. Winnipeg and Anaheim. Winnipeg could very easily pull ahead and win. They could go ahead and they could even if they win in a tie, it doesn't really matter. They're getting 2 points, putting themselves back up 2 more points against the Predators, meaning they'll be 5 points up. So that's kind of what we're looking at, guys and gals. And the thing is, as long as hope's alive, it's exciting. And that's what it comes down to. It was an exciting game tonight, not because the Preds are playing inspired hockey, but because there was a lot on the line. You saw guys like Kiefer Sherwood give everything they had. Everything they had. You saw guys like Cole Smith give everything he had on the penalty kill to keep that game tight and to keep that game close. And they were able to pull it out in the end with some slick stuff in the shootout. And that's where the difference was made. It was that their goaltenders, at the end of the night, Predators had the much better goaltender, and that's how things go. But you can't guarantee that's going to be the situation. But from here on out, especially in this game against the Kraken, they want a regulation win. That's going to do the most for them, and we're going to hope, as I sign off here, that the Ducks are somehow able to pull off the improbable and beat the Winnipeg Jets. Renegades, that's all I got. Charlie, I'm going to send it back over to you.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. When it comes to the box score, the numbers are pretty sparse, especially when it comes to the offensive side of things. Sherwood had the only goal for the Nashville Predators in regulation. Of course, Tomasino's goal doesn't count towards the box score, but he did have the game winner in the shootout. When it comes to assists, Barry and Novak, the only players with assists in this game. Shots on goal, Sherwood led the team with 5. Barry had 3. Evangelista also had 3 on net. When it comes to block shots, McDonough had 6. And other than that, Gross with 2, pretty sparse the rest of the way for the Preds. When it comes to hits, it was Sherwood leading the team with 5. Colton Sissons added in 4. Luzon also added 4. Dante Fabro been playing more physical as of late, had 3 hits in this game. When it comes to total time on ice, Luke Evangelista 2028 that led the forwards. Right behind him at 2020 was Tommy Novak, and then just behind them, Matt Duchene at 20 minutes and 7 seconds. Least amount of ice time by the forwards comes by Asplund, 8:15, and then after the save, 8:31 in total time on ice in this game. When it comes to the defensemen, and of course leading in total time on ice for the entire team, it's Ryan McDonough, 25:09. But let me give you some of the other defensive numbers because they really stepped up and played a lot tonight. 23:46 for Barry, 23:05 for Fabro. The least amount of time skated by any defenseman was by Cal Foote, 17:41 in total time on ice. Also delivered a hit in this game. For the Nashville Predators in net, UC Saros was 27 out of 28 and perfect in the shootout, securing the victory for his 28th victory of the season. That's going to do it for the box score, but we're not done talking about the numbers yet. We got to go over to the Renegade Analytics desk, and we got to talk to Brian Baston from ontheforecheck.com. That's where you can find his tremendous articles, and I urge you to follow Brian Baston on Twitter at Brian Baston. I also encourage you to read his work and listen to his words. Here he is now. He's the one and only Brian Baston.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. Well, Nashville has reached the brutal final 13-game schedule to end the regular season, and with a big home weekend and Pekka Rinne statue being unveiled ahead, the Seattle Kraken have come to town for a 2-game series. Now, before the game, I wrote in my preview that I wasn't sure which Predators team would show up. Would it be the lifeless, exhausted-looking team that got blown out by the New York Rangers? Or would it be the replacements and young players that had an offensive explosion in a 7-3 victory over the Buffalo Sabres? After the game, I'd say it was a little bit of each plus a sprinkle of UC Saros magic, but you knew that. The Predators looked lifeless against the Kraken for a period, but staunch defense and low-event hockey was good enough to take the Kraken all the way to the shootout after a Kiefer Sherwood goal that tied the game at 1 apiece. Did the defenses look exhausted? Absolutely. But the Predators didn't give up as many prime chances as they did against New York, and of course, UC Saros continued to do what he does best, keep the Predators in the game. After Matt Duchene scored first in the shootout, the young rookie Phil Tomasino slammed the door shut with a goal of his own past Joey Decord to give Nashville 2 out of the 4 points that Seattle is bringing to town. But between Duchene and Tomasino's successful shootout attempts, there was another player who did not score. He also didn't pick up a point in the victory today, but what one rookie did throughout the game had him as one of the best players on the ice for either team. Luke Evangelista's spectacular two-way dominance of the Kraken is the topic of tonight's One Big Stat. So just how good was Luke tonight? While he didn't add to his 5 goals and 9 points in 12 games total, his impact on Nashville, both on offense and defense, was just incredible. Evangelista was on the ice for over 20 minutes at even strength tonight, and the difference was absolutely night and day when he was there. Playing alongside Tommy Novak and Kiefer Sherwood for much of the evening, Nashville had 32 shot attempts, while Seattle had a staggeringly low total of 5 with Luke Evangelista on the ice. Not 5 shots on goal, but 5 attempts overall in over 20 minutes, including much of the 4-on-4 overtime. And while Nashville only turned 32 of those attempts into just 12 shots on goal, they still outdid Seattle with Evangelista on the ice 12-3. And both of those percentages were above 80%, leading the team by just a bit over his line mates Novak and Sherwood. But not so with expected goals and shot quality. Luke Evangelista helped to generate almost one expected goal at .96 and allowing just 0.08 expected goals, just incredibly low quality shots. And that's just on 5 shot attempts and 3 shots on goal that they were able to create very, very low percentage shots. So he was playing extremely well, both on offense. He was creating a ton of shot volume, even if they weren't all finding the net. And he was keeping Seattle from doing almost anything on offense. He led all the Kraken in expected goals as well, although Daniel Sprong and Tanev were also above 80% in shot quality. But the Predators still had 4 high-quality chances to Seattle's 0, and nowhere was his impact seen more than in overtime. Evangelista, Sherwood, and Novak dominated no matter who they played against, and they were the only line for Nashville that showed any signs of life. Now, Evangelista has been turning heads since his arrival, much like Novak, Sherwood, Parson, and before him, and he's more than answered the call in his 12 games so far. Ironically, there's only 12 more games in the race this season, and he's playing against the best of the best in the NHL. If he can keep it up and have more performances like this, Luke Evangelista is going to make Nashville his permanent home by force. And before I go, I want to say a couple things. First of all, thank you so much for all the wonderful response to my video and piece on Kiefer Sherwood earlier this week, as we saw around the league again tonight. Sometimes it's nice to just have a reminder of a positive thing that happened. But second, and much more importantly, none of this matters because when you see this video, that means you have obviously decided that your Friday night plans include hanging out with us and the rest of the Preds fans and Renegades of Puck at the home base freakout at Tailgate Brewery tonight at 7 p.m. No cover, all ages, all are welcome and celebrated. There will be giveaways, special guests, and a ton of fun. Hang out with us tonight and then join me at Bridgestone Arena for Saturday's afternoon rematch with the Kraken after we get to see the king himself, Pekka Rinne's new statue. And as I'm recording this, at just past midnight, the captain is still out there not half-stepping. He's delivering beer to hockey rinks, handing out flyers on Broadway, and honestly, I don't know what else he could be getting into, and I'm almost afraid to ask. But he is a one-man street team, and don't you dare make my captain's efforts in vain. So show up to us, hang out with us tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute blast, and let's celebrate hockey with hockey fans, Preds fans, everybody, after what has been, frankly, one goddamn roller coaster of a hockey season. So come out to the home base freakout tonight. I'll see you there, Renegades. And that is tonight's one big stat. Charlie?
I'm Crazy Charlie Saunier, captain of the Renegades of Puck. I'm also tired of the cold, tired of the dark, and tired of being landlocked. I'm also willing to bet that I'm not the only one who could use some sun, fun, and time in paradise with friends. That's exactly why I called our great friend Pete Weber. He told me, call Ships and Trips Travel, and now we're all going to Mexico. That's right, Renegades of Puck, July 15th to the 20th of 2023. Dreams Vallarta Resort in Puerto Vallarta is the destination to hang with Pete Weber in paradise. To join Pete and the Renegades of Puck in Puerto Vallarta, go to www.shipsandtripstravel.com. That's shipsandtripstravel.com and just click on the ROP on vacation tab. Don't stay landlocked. Join the Renegades of Puck in paradise, July 15th to the 20th, 2023 in Puerto Vallarta. Pete Weber, the Renegades of Puck, and you. It's time to ditch those skates for flip-flops and fun in the sun. It's already the day of home base freak out 2. Tailgate Brewery is the destination, 1538 Montgomery Street. You already know that. Many of you already attended home base freak out 1 last year, and it was incredible. This is going to be even bigger. I know there are going to be special guests. I know there are going to be names that you recognize, and I know that there are going to be faces and voices you most certainly know. But this isn't about flexing the Rolodex. This is about us coming together as a hockey community. This is about the Renegades of Puck becoming the strongest pillar of positivity when it comes to the entirety of the hockey community. I spent the entire evening going from rink to rink, asking hockey players to come and join me and join us at Tailgate Brewery. There's no doubt the Renegades of Puck will show up. They will be enforced. They will take over Tailgate Brewery, and we will have a tremendous time. We're going to put on a great show. Last year's home base freakout was very loose. It was the first time we had done an event of that size here in Nashville, and I learned a lot from that show. This is going to be more streamlined, more planned out, and we are certainly going to be doing more involving the audience. The Renegades of Puck will take the main stage at 8 o'clock. We'll be there to start the event at 7, so meet and greet, mingle, get your drinks, and come on out, and then we'll start the show at 8 o'clock. We'll do giveaways throughout the evening, and we'll bring some of our special guests up on stage as well, and we'll talk to them, interview them. We're going to share a lot of memories about Pekka Rinne this weekend. This weekend is about our hockey community, and over the last 15 years, nobody bigger in our hockey community than Pekka Rinne. He's back in town to get his statue unveiled on the plaza at Bridgestone Arena. Packer, please come to our event. That's all. I know you have a lot of friends to see while you're in town for a very brief amount of time, and you happen to have a very important ceremony early on Saturday morning. But if you could, just come on down. Come on down to Tailgate Brewery. All of you, come on down to Tailgate Brewery. It doesn't matter if you're an executive for an NHL franchise or a player for an AHL team or an Olympian or a beer league rec player or somebody who just happens to love the game. When you come to a Renegades of Puck event, we are all on equal footing. We are all the same. We all love the game. We all love socializing. We all love making friends. We all love getting together, and that's what this is going to be all about. We have to break down the walls and the barriers that are preventing this hockey community from continuing to grow more than it already is. Since the time I started trying to expand hockey coverage and expand the game of hockey, now it's time to expand the culture of our community. We do not have enough events. We do not have enough opportunities to get together away from the rink and become friends and get to know each other and rally behind each other to start building the support system that we can call a thriving hockey community again. I will lead us there. I will take us there. It is incredibly hard work, and it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a tremendous amount of time. But the Renegades of Puck are fully equipped to handle the mission and to handle the operation. That's why I'm glad it will be me leading the Renegades up that hill tomorrow. We won't fail. We will prevail. Believe me. Come on out. Join us for Home Base Freakout 2. It's a collection of random words that we put on a poster, but the sentiment, the meaning, all of that behind it, I think you understand by now. The Renegades of Puck, we're inviting you to come join us for Home Base Freakout 2. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. I'll see you at Tailgate Brewery, Renegades. It's time.